it's Laynie and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are here. Today we're going to do something a little new. I find it exciting. I hope you guys do too. But I want to do my first pregnancy Q&A video today. So yes, these are questions I received via Instagram, and these are also some questions that I received in person. So yeah, if you want to hear my little pregnancy Q&A, then just keep watching. If I look like I'm hot right now, that's because I am. I'm always hot now. I did make a little list of questions here on my phone so I could try to keep a train of thought. I feel like the number one question I received when I told everyone I was pregnant was, were you trying? Yes, my husband and I were trying. So, a little backstory. My husband and I have been married now for 6 years, but we've been together going on almost 11 years next year. So we have been together for quite a while. I actually am pretty certain that his family thought we were never going to have kids. But yes, we were trying. What I'm about to say, I don't want this to come across at all selfish or arrogant or uncaring of others, because I personally know people in my circle who have struggled with infertility. The reason I wanted to start with that is because what I'm about to say, I don't want it to be taken wrong. We got pregnant a lot faster than we thought we would. The reason I say that is because I'm 30, I'm a chunky girl, on the edge of plus size before this, with my age, my size, us having never tried before. Honestly, in my head, and what my husband and I had discussed, is we thought this is going to take us 6 months to a year. That's what we were thinking. It took us 3 months to get pregnant. So that is why if I sound nervous in my announcement video when I tell my husband, that's because I really was not expecting it to happen so fast. It is a blessing that it happened so fast. Absolutely. Just in my head, in how is anyone else a planner? I feel like I plan everything. In my head, I had planned, I was like, this could take us a while. I think it's going to take us a while. So yes, it happened to us quite fast. It was just surprising. The reason we were trying is because we are 30 and we started to discuss it with our age, with the fact we're so comfortable together. If we don't start trying to go down this road of being parents, which we always knew we wanted to, it might get too easy to keep pushing it off. And then again, because I was nervous about infertility, because I know so many people who have struggled with it, both of us were on the same page with, if we wait too long, we don't want to find out we are infertile and then have to go down that road of being parents at 35 or 40 for the first time. Are your families excited? Yes, they are so excited. I feel like Tony's parents were absolutely shocked, but extremely excited. My dad is very excited. He has become extra protective. He was already protective and now he's super protective. And then outside of that, friends and extended family are definitely excited for us. Everyone's really looking forward to this. So yeah, I think I have no doubts that everybody is really excited for what's to come. The real question is though, is our dog excited? I don't know. That is the only part of our family that I'm worried will not be excited. He has been extra lovey to me, so I feel like maybe he knows, maybe. Let me know, do you think dogs become aware of if someone in the family is pregnant? I feel like he might know. I am nervous that he will be a little jealous at first because he is used to being the baby. He's very babied. So I'm a little nervous that he won't be excited when the baby gets here, but my husband reassures me. My husband is the calm to my storm. He always reassures me. He's like, he will get used to the baby. It will become a part of his pack. He will love the baby just as much as he loves us. I so hope that is true. The next question is, do you want to know the gender? Yes. Absolutely. I have a cousin who waited to find out the gender of her children, and I don't know how she did it, really. I don't know how she did it. I am a planner and over planner, and I feel like I cannot get everything just right unless I know. I actually have an envelope upstairs right now with the baby's gender inside of it, and I'm not opening it. It's sealed. We're doing a very small gender reveal party, so yes, we are definitely going to find out the gender. I'm very excited. I don't have a preference. My husband doesn't have a preference. I always thought, oh, when you're pregnant, you probably know as the mother, you have a feeling. I have no idea. My husband said the only reason he is picking boy is because he has more male family members. So he's like, if I had to put money on one, I would put boy, but he doesn't care either. We both think there are benefits to having either a boy or a girl. From what I've heard, it seems like girls are easier when they're younger and tougher when they're older. Boys are tougher when they're young, easier when they're older. but every kid is different, so you don't know until you meet the little one and their little personality forms. So we don't have a preference, but I truly have no idea. But I definitely want to find out the gender for what I've put on our baby registry so far, like my wish list or things I feel like we need. I'm doing very color neutral though, because I'm like, okay, if everything goes well and we want to do this again, I don't want to have to buy more stuff, so let's keep everything very neutral colors. And then I'm going to play up the fashion with the pinks or the blues or the feminine versus the masculine. So yeah, but other than that, I really don't have a preference, but I want to know the gender very badly. Very, very badly. A question I get asked all the time is, did you have morning sickness? No, and I feel so beyond blessed to say that, because first of all, a little strange thing about me is like throwing up is like a big deal to me, like a really big deal. I hate throwing up. Oh my gosh, I don't care how old I am, I will cry like a baby. I had the stomach flu last year for the first time in 6 years, and I felt like my life was coming to an end. I don't do well with it. I don't do well with other people getting sick. Like, it's not fully a phobia, but it's close. For like any time my husband and I talked about having kids, years even in the past, I always said, oh my gosh, like morning sickness, I'm so scared I'm gonna get that. Like I don't like throwing up. I'm very worried about that. And my husband always said to me, I really don't think you will because you hate throwing up that much. Maybe he willed it into existence. Maybe it's just luck of the draw. I'm sure each pregnancy, it's just different. I do know quite a few women in my family didn't have morning sickness, so I don't know if it's a genetic thing possibly, but I never had actual morning sickness. The first trimester, actually like a week or two before we found out, I felt like something was up because my stomach just didn't feel right. Like I never thought I was going to get sick, but I honestly thought it was like, I thought like I was having like a gallbladder issue or something, which I've never had before, but it was just like every time I ate, nothing agreed with me. And the only thing that I could eat and not feel just gross afterwards was soup. So I thought I was just having like, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm having like a gallbladder problem or something over here. Well, I think it was just the baby, but so I never had actual morning sickness, but stuff did not sit right. If I ate certain foods, I would just feel really crappy afterwards, but I never thought I was going to get sick. It was never ever like that. Now, outside of morning sickness, I feel like a big thing I struggled with and still do on occasion, but the first trimester was so bad, was fatigue. It really felt like when you get like a really bad flu and you just have no energy, you're so drained all the time. That was me. I cared about nothing. I actually was watching Rob Beauty Christie's Q&A video a while back, and I felt so much better watching that, and that's why I wanted to make this, because you never know what else is normal for other people until you hear them talk about it. And so when I heard her talk about the fact that she felt the same way, I was like, okay, it's okay. I'm not alone. I'm not weird. I had no energy the first trimester. And when I say I felt like a bum, I felt like a bum. I'm already kind of a homebody, like I'm a mixture. I like to go out and do stuff, but I also really like being at home. But when I say I was a homebody to an extreme, I mean to an extreme, and it made me feel like a bad person, honestly, because kind of my thing is when I'm not at work, I really like taking care of my home, and I like cooking dinner, and like I'm that kind of person. Not the first trimester. I didn't care about anything. My channel was really struggling because I had no energy, no motivation, no creativity to film videos. So I wasn't doing anything with that, which was not normal for me. And I wasn't taking care of my home at all, which wasn't normal for me. And it really started to take a toll on me. I was like, what is wrong with me? I feel so lazy, like I'm so unmotivated. I was really getting down on myself for a little bit, and then I saw Christy's video and she was saying the same thing, and I was like, okay, maybe this is just a part of it. I couldn't care about anything besides just laying around. If I was not at work, I was seriously laying on the couch all the time. Like all the time. Unless it was something I had to go do, I wasn't doing it. There was dishes piled up in the sink. The floors had not been vacuumed for like a month. I mean, I did not care. I couldn't care. I just did not have the energy or motivation to care. I was exhausted. And it does say in like my pregnancy app that the first trimester is like really intensive in your body because you are forming all of those parts of the baby. So your body is doing a lot that you can't see and you can't feel the baby, but your body is working really hard. So I had to remind myself of that, but there were times where I really got down on myself because I just couldn't care about anything. Now moving into my second trimester, it's gotten a lot better. I had 1 week where I was like so energetic. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I don't even know how to handle all this energy. Like I was cleaning everything and I was like organizing the house. Now I'm struggling a little bit again with the energy. It's not nearly as bad like at work. I have my energy back. I got my flow back at work. At home, I'm cleaning. I'm basically keeping up with everything I need to, but I'm still not quite where I was pre-pregnancy. I just feel like it takes me longer to get moving in the morning than sometimes into the night. I am just kind of worn down by the nighttime, but overall, so much better on the energy level. I do think a big part of it right now is here in the Midwest, it's been very chilly for the last week and overcast for several days. I never do well with this weather. I'm definitely a person where I need sunshine. I kind of feed off of that. So having these overcast days, I think, are a big part of me feeling less motivated than usual. I do know my vitamin D levels, they're not low, but they're close. I am going to start taking extra vitamin D with my multivitamin to try to kind of counteract this fall winter season that we're going into, because I'm not going to be outside like I was. There's not going to be sunshine like there was, and I just want to stay ahead of it. So the next question is, have you been craving anything? Honestly, I feel like movies portray pregnancy cravings very much like you're going to crave really weird things all the time. The first trimester, I just naturally leaned towards more healthy food. I wanted lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, lighter meals. If I ate anything heavy, it just did not sit well. I just didn't feel good afterwards. It's changing this trimester though. So this trimester, the baby is formed. There are still some things forming, but for the most part, it's just now time for the baby to grow. And I can tell a difference in what I'm wanting to eat. I'm wanting more high calorie food. Some days I'm wanting stuff that's not so healthy, and I'm like, dang it. I was actually really impressed with myself the first trimester. I was like, ooh, I just love fruits and vegetables. This is so great, which I do love fruits and vegetables anyway, but I was just impressed because pre-pregnancy, my diet is always like a roller coaster where I'll do really good for a while and then I'll do really bad and really, it's just up and down. So when I had 3 months straight of only wanting healthier food, I was like, yeah, I've got this. And then second trimester happened, and now I'm wanting junk food again. I am trying to balance it. I have definitely still been struggling with wanting to cook. I don't know what I want a lot of days, or I'll buy stuff and then by the time it's dinner time, it no longer sounds good. So I've been wanting to eat out more, so I'm really trying to keep myself from doing that. I'm like, no, you don't need to eat out more than a couple times in a week. There's just too much sodium in there. It's not healthy, but the craving for junk is there. I wish it wasn't. There was one day I was having a bad day because some plans that I was working on fell through, and I was kind of down and out about it, a little stressed. And I am a stress eater before this, so I will not lie to you guys. In 2 days, I ate a package of Oreos. My husband did help me. I wasn't eating them alone, but I seriously looked myself in the mirror and I was like, okay, you cannot do this all the time. That is no good. There's so much sugar in there and you will gain a zillion pounds. So no, no, no. But it did happen. Okay, it did. Definitely trying to not buy a lot of junk food and keep it in the house so that way it's not tempting me. I will say there are so many days I wake up, I'm like, maybe I'll go buy donuts. I don't, but it is literally the first thought that crosses my mind. I will say the first trimester, when I got hungry, it was like if I don't eat something right now, I am going to die. It was this intense hunger that I had never experienced before. And it's so funny because my friend, we work together and she's pregnant and she was going through the same thing. It was just so funny just being able to work alongside someone who's going through the same thing, because she would come up to me, she'd be like, I am so hungry, I feel like I'm gonna die. I'm like, I understand, I get it. It is just this intense hunger. If I had to keep granola bars and nuts and fruit in my purse to bring it to work, because it was seriously oh my gosh, just this hunger of I'm going to just die right here at work if I do not get something to eat. I feel like I spent a really long time talking about food, so sorry about that. Speaking of food, I feel like this next question actually pairs in really well with food. Do you think you'll struggle, or are you currently struggling with body image? You guys, I'm gonna keep it 100 right here with you, because I know there are others out there just like me who need to hear this. So I will be real with you. During the shutdown here in my state, I did not handle it well. I don't think I was alone in that. It was very cold here. It was still winter, so you couldn't go out. You couldn't go for walks because it was freezing. There was no sunshine, which, like I said, I don't do well with. So how I coped was baking. I was teaching myself to bake. like a lot, too much. But it was like the one thing I had to look forward to and I could feel proud of if it turned out. So I gained 10 pounds during the shutdown, which I regret. And like I said, I thought it would take us longer to get pregnant. So I was like, I'll have time. I'll lose the 10. Not a big deal. I didn't lose the 10. No. I did not. So I started the pregnancy heavier than I wanted to, and that took a little bit of a toll on my self-confidence, and I'm still struggling with it. I know gaining weight is important. I know I'm gaining weight for a good reason. I know I am trying to stay active with going on walks. I know I'm trying to, balance my diet and not go overboard, but I also realize I have to gain weight, and I have gained weight. But I feel like being a person who was already walking that line of plus size, like I could buy like the tail end of regular clothes or the very beginning of plus size pre-pregnancy. Being plus size and pregnant is not easy. One reason is because you don't see a lot of it out there. Like for instance, I'm following Desi Perkins, who isn't, right? And she looks beautiful pregnant. She was beautiful to begin with, but she just looks beautiful still. It is hard when you see so much on social media and in movies of pregnancy. It's usually women who are in shape and then get pregnant, and they look so cute, and they have the cute little round bumps, and they still look great, and it's like all of it's just baby weight, which is nothing wrong with. Like, I am a big believer in embrace the body you're in, but we should all strive to be healthy. And I know that I should have been in better shape before this. I know I should have lost weight before this, but I didn't. This is where I'm at. So I can't beat myself up about it at this point. There's no reason. But it is a struggle because I want to feel cute when pregnant. There is the fear of, as I get bigger, how is it going to affect my body? Because I'm not that tall. I'm 5'4". So it is a struggle. It is. I'm trying to be kind to myself, but there are days it's hard. I don't feel great all days. There are some days I feel really great and I'm like, oh, look at your cute little bum. You look good. There are other days I'm like, these clothes aren't fitting anymore. I feel like my face is getting chunkier. My arms are getting chunkier. One thing that has helped me is I actually started following the hashtag plus size pregnancy on Instagram just so I can see other people who look like me who are pregnant. I also want to say to anybody else who is plus size and pregnant, accept yourself, love yourself, be kind to yourself, stay as healthy as you can. And that is what I'm going to be trying to do for me and for baby. I was talking to my friend who is pregnant. She's also plus size. And I asked her, are you going to do maternity pictures? And she told me, no, I don't think so. And her exact words were, I'm already fat. It broke my heart, honestly, because I was reading an article about it like just the day before that I talked to her, and it said that one of the biggest regrets most plus size women have are they don't get maternity pictures taken because they don't feel like they're skinny enough to get maternity pictures, or they just don't feel like they need to. I told her, I said, I hope you get maternity pictures. I really, really hope you do, because this is still at a very special time in your life. And if you don't want to spend a bunch of money on maternity pictures, I totally get that. Just get a few taken. Like, I don't want her to look back and regret not having those pictures. I definitely plan to get maternity pictures taken. That's something I've looked forward to my whole life. I might feel a little self-conscious. I might even judge myself a little bit. But you know what? I don't want to look back and regret it. I'm definitely going to do that. It's just trying to find that balance of just being okay with where I'm at, trying to stay healthy, and just handling it the best I can. So if anybody else is plus size and pregnant out there, you have any tips or you have any things you follow online that help you, or if you have a place to find clothes, please share it down below, because I will say that's another thing that is difficult. Maternity clothes are usually meant for women who aren't plus size pre-pregnancy. So I need to look into places that do offer plus size sizing for pregnant women. Are you feeling the baby move yet? Yes. And what a wild experience. There was like a week where I wasn't sure, like I was feeling something, but I was just like, I don't think it is. I think it's just like my insides like rumbling or something. And then it slowly started to happen more. It would become very concentrated to my lower left side is where I would feel it a lot. I'm like, I think I'm feeling the baby move. This is really crazy. And then one day at work, I had a very stressful day. It was very stressful. The anxiety was up. The adrenaline was up because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off to try to get everything done. It was kind of cuckoo. But let me tell you, the baby and the adrenaline were like causing it to, I think, do backflips in there. I was just like, I cannot believe how much I'm feeling it move right now. Now I'm feeling it a lot. I was talking to the woman who does my ultrasounds, and I said, some days I'll feel it a lot, and then one day I won't feel it much. And I would be lying if I didn't say it makes me nervous. Those days I don't feel it. I'm like moving my belly. I'm like, hello in there, like, everything okay? And my husband, because again, he's the calm to my storm, he's like, everything's fine. They're just like us. Some days they're going to be more active, some days they're not. And the ultrasound tech did agree with him. She said, it's a little human in there. Some days it's going to be real active and other days it's not. So I'm trying to not overanalyze, not be over anxious on those days I don't feel it move a lot, but I'm definitely feeling the movements. They're more strong now. Before it felt like a flutter, kind of like when you get butterflies in your stomach. Now it's feeling more like, oh, that was a little kick in there. I could feel that. The way I was describing it to my husband, I don't know if this will make sense, but it's the only thing I could think of is when I grew up as a kid, I had a above ground swimming pool. Have you ever pushed off an above ground swimming pool? Like you're doing laps or you're racing someone and you push off the side, and because it's an above ground, like the side of it goes like boom, like that with the water movement? That is what it felt like to me. So yeah, that is what it felt like. Now it is feeling more like actual kicks in there. And actually today was the first day that I could feel the baby, or not feel, I actually saw my stomach move a little bit with a movement. I was like, oh, I had to call my husband. He was at work. I'm like, oh, this is exciting. I'm going to be really excited for when he can start to feel the movements. I think that'll be really, really cool. The next question is, are you giving birth at a hospital, a birthing center, or home? So I looked into all of these besides the home birth. For me and my anxiety, I would not do well with that. The one way I would do it is if the coronavirus is bad again, to the point where they wouldn't allow my husband into the hospital, I would rather have the baby at home than do it alone. Like, I'm that serious about it. Like, he is my rock, he is my calm, he has to be there, and I would never want him to miss out on that. So that is the only way I would ever consider having a baby at home, because it's just scary if something goes wrong. Freaks me out. I did look into birthing centers. We have a nice one here. I asked my husband's aunt, who actually is a midwife, and she recommended that I have it at a hospital. She said birthing centers are great for the atmosphere, but if something goes wrong, you still have to be moved to a hospital. I think the hospital is the best bet for us, which is kind of hard for me to say because I hate hospitals. If you don't know anything about my background, my mother passed away when I was 11 from colon cancer. So as a kid, I spent a lot of time in hospitals when she was sick. She was sick for about 3 years, and hospitals, medical stuff in general, I don't love it. I don't even like the smell of hospitals. It's just like brings you back to a place you don't want to be. So hospitals aren't my favorite at all. Safety is my number one priority. I want to make sure I am safe. I want to make sure that baby is safe. So I would feel more comfortable being right there in case of emergency. We just toured one of our local hospitals here. Felt like a hospital inside, but I definitely feel like they do a good job in the maternity wing to make it less hospital-y, which means a lot to me. So I will say I felt pretty good there. The only benefit to the virus is that no visitors are allowed outside of the person who is going to be with you during the birth, which actually was kind of nice. I'm a very private person when it comes to anything like gross or bodily functions. I'm very private. So I actually liked that there was no outside visitors allowed, because when I was able to do the tour, there was no people in the little waiting room. There wasn't a bunch of people milling around. I actually feel like in that sense I'm going to be a little bit more comfortable, because if I need to walk the hallway to get things going, or maybe I need to shout out in the middle of everything, I'm not going to feel like there's a bunch of people around. So in that sense, the virus is helping me feel more comfortable. In another sense, it does make me a little nervous that we don't know what it's going to be like with winter hitting, and we're having the baby in winter, that you know, I don't know what it's going to be like, and I don't know if there's a possibility of another shutdown. So that does make me nervous, and that is the only time I would change our plan from being at the hospital. But I did feel pretty good about the hospital we were at. It gets really good reviews. I actually asked a bunch of local friends. Everybody raved about this hospital, so that makes me feel good. So the next one goes along with hospitals. Will you do an epidural? So I will not lie to you, pre-pregnancy and early pregnancy, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do the epidural. Like, I want to do natural, and maybe I will. You never know. Sometimes you can't do the epidural. But after watching more labor videos, talking to more people, I think I'm doing the epidural. I will not play hero here. I do not like pain. That's why I have no tattoos. That's why I didn't get my ears pierced till I was 16. I don't like pain. So I definitely think I'm doing the epidural. My only thing is I was talking again to my husband's aunt because she knows all things delivery, and I asked her what she thought of the epidural, because I have heard sometimes that our epidural can slow down labor, and in some ways I'm like I don't want this thing to halt up and, like, you know, I'm in labor for like days. Obviously, whatever happens, happens. But if I could prevent it from going on for a very long period of time, I would like to do that. She told me that as long as you work through the initial laboring process far enough, the epidural can actually help you progress because it lets you relax. It lets you get a little rest. So I'm hoping I am able to power through long enough to get to that point. I don't want to do it too soon to where then it slows everything down. But you don't know until you get there at all. Definitely have never been a person who looks forward to laboring or like birthing a child. I've come to terms with the fact that it's the only way to get them here, but I would be lying if I didn't tell you that I'm scared, and that the first 2 weeks after I found out I was pregnant, I would wake up in the middle of the night with insane anxiety going, I'm gonna have to give birth. I've come to terms with it. It's only one way to get it out, but not looking forward to it. So yes, I think I will be doing the epidural. I also am really looking forward to some other ways to manage pain. Sadly, because of the virus, they will not do laughing gas now. I was really looking forward to that. I wanted to give that a try. And they won't let you do a birthing tub. I also really wanted to do that. That's always kind of been like a route I wanted to go down, but it's a no-go. So I see myself using a peanut ball. I've been watching videos about that, and I see myself being in the shower some, trying to let the water help me relax and handle pain. Do you think having a baby will change your relationship? Yes, I do. We've been together a long time. We're used to it being just the two of us. This is going to be a big change. I also want to make a point to make sure my husband and I stay connected, just the two of us, with date nights. I think that will be very important. I will say I feel very, very lucky that my husband was raised to believe that your marriage comes first and then your children are after that, which for some I think is hard to hear. Obviously that means you still care for all of their needs. You don't neglect them in that sense, but that you have to always keep your marriage number one, because a healthy marriage is going to be so pivotal to your children. So definitely feel like we're going to have to learn how to make it work for us. But I definitely want us to stay connected through date nights, through if it's just a few minutes in the morning to have a cup of coffee together, or maybe it's a few minutes before bed just to sit and talk, like making sure we stay connected, because we really are each other's best friend. The next question is, what are you excited for and what are you nervous about? I'm very excited for the new experiences. I do think there are so many things with kids that become so much fun, like Christmas will have a new magic. Easter will have a new magic. Like those holidays, there's something about seeing them through a child's eyes, and it becomes so much more fun and magical. Looking forward to vacations as a family. I think that will be a lot of fun as the kid gets a little bit older. I think it'll be so much fun just to watch somebody growing up and learning new things, and how much excitement you will have in those moments, and how proud you will feel in those moments. And even sometimes, even the challenging parts, I feel like they're challenging, but when you learn how to handle them and you feel like you handled them well as a parent, there is really a sense of accomplishment that comes from that. I am nervous about everything. It's just that I know things are going to be so different, and change can be hard for me at times. I know I'm going to be anxious at times, learning how to do everything. I know nothing about babies. I will be taking a newborn class. I'm not ashamed. I know nothing about babies. I know nothing. Like, I am going to be doing a lot of learning in the beginning. I am so thankful that my husband actually gets 4 weeks off of work, which I feel like is a game changer for us, and I feel like that is going to help me deal so much better. I was talking to one of my coworkers who is a mom, and she was saying that it seems like anymore in media, whether it's online or on shows, a lot of stuff is only the scary side of parenting. And of course, there is a scary side. It's a lot of work. You don't see that much about the joys of it. And I was talking to my dad about this because he has had 2 kids. And he was like, I don't know why so many people talk about it like it's such a bad thing. Your mom and I never, ever felt like you were a burden. We loved having a family and doing family things. So I'm trying to focus on that. And I will say, with the dog, I am nervous about making sure he stays a priority. So it's taking the steps to make sure my husband and I make each other a priority, and then we make our dog a priority, because I don't want him to be left in the dust after baby gets here. So definitely going to be a big change, but I am confident that we can figure it out. It just might take a little time. I'm also nervous about how it will change my relationship with myself. Before I ever got pregnant, one of my friends visited our house, and I was giving her a little tour when we first moved in, and she saw my makeup room, and she was like, oh, when you have kids, you're gonna have to get rid of this room. And it was so sweet. My husband looked at her and was like, no, we'll make sure she gets to keep it. And I always love my husband, but I feel like in that moment I realized why I love him so much. That meant the world to me, because I still want to make sure I don't just become mom, which obviously will be the best role in the world, but I want to have still a sense of myself and the things I enjoy, whether it's just getting ready for the day, whether it's filming a video for you guys. I enjoy this space. This is like my space. So definitely want to keep a sense of that, and it might be tough figuring out how I'm going to do this and be a mom, but I will figure it out. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot I'm nervous for. And then the next question I have got a lot is, will you announce the baby name? Not until after the baby's here. My husband and I discussed this, and I have one friend, she's so sweet, she wants to know the baby's name so bad. And I did tell her if she could guess it, I would tell her, because she was so sweet and gave us her daughter's crib to use. So I was like, if you can guess it, I will tell you the name. But my husband and I discussed it, and we're going to keep it a secret. And I feel like this is kind of a new trend you do see a lot. And it's not because I'm not excited about the names we have picked. I'm actually really excited about both of them. It's just that we went the more unique route for names. They're not common names. They're not names you hear a lot. Actually, I've never met anybody in person who has either name, and I don't want someone else's opinion to make me second guess my choice. Like, these are the names we have picked. We are going with one of them depending on if it's a boy or a girl, but I am the kind of person who, I'm an overthinker, like I said, and if someone said something that really did upset me, it would make me second guess. So I don't want to go down that route. My dad is definitely a name picker, a parter. Love him to pieces, but he is very stubborn when it comes to names. And so I'm like, you know what? I think we're just going to keep this a secret. Once the baby's here, no one will say anything, or if they did, it's just too freaking late, too bad. So yes, that will be the one little secret we keep between just the two of us. It will be hard not to slip up once I know the gender. Then the second to last question is pregnancy what you expected? Not really, not yet. And I think it's just that each trimester is different. I feel more normal than I thought I would. That has been surprising to me. Obviously, I think the biggest struggle is at the very end when you are so uncomfortable. But so far, I feel very normal. I thought I would feel really different for some reason. In the very beginning, being pregnant was almost weird because I knew I was pregnant. I had the positive test. I'd had the ultrasounds. Like, I knew I was pregnant, but you don't feel anything. Like, you can't feel the baby yet. You don't have a belly yet. So it was this very detached sense of, yes, I'm pregnant, but I feel exactly the same besides being very tired. I don't know why I thought there would be just like this instant, like, oh, I'm pregnant feeling. Maybe there is for some, not me. I think one of the biggest shocks to me is the ultrasounds. We had an 8-week ultrasound. How many have I had? I'm losing track now. But anyways, my point is, I was shocked at the 8-week ultrasound. I always, I don't know why, I thought it would just be like this little blip on a screen that looked like nothing. When I saw that 8-week ultrasound, I could not get over it. I'm like, that is already a little human in there. You saw the little like arms starting and the little legs and the little head, and I could see that heart going, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a little human being in there already. Wow, that really did shock me. I wasn't expecting that. And now, like the last ultrasound we had, like the baby was moving in there, and actually we've had 2 ultrasounds now where like the baby is touching its head or itching its head. I'm just like, wow, this is wild. I'm just like, this is so crazy. I am building a human being inside of my body. Like, obviously I knew that's what pregnancy was, but when you really see it, it's just like, holy cow, this is wild. And then the final question is, will you have the baby on your channel? I really don't know. I think yes. I say I don't know. I do really value a certain sense of privacy in my life, which being on YouTube, I walk a fine line of trying to share things with you guys, but I also really value my privacy. So that's why I only share the things that I really feel comfortable sharing or that I want to share. And I know there are times that I am not nearly as open and in your face with things as other YouTubers, but it's just because I really value my privacy. Like, I really do. And there's just some things that I just don't want to share with the world. Like, there's some things that I want to keep between me and my family or me and my friends. And having a baby, like, there's going to be so many exciting things that I want to share, but then I would be lying if I didn't say there is a fear of the internet and children. Like, I have a big fear of that because there are so many creepers in the world. I can't lie and sugarcoat it and not say the idea of some weirdo sitting on the other side of a screen and watching my child with inappropriate thoughts really bothers me, and it does scare me, and that is the only hesitation I have. So if I have the baby on the channel, I will be very picky about what I share, and the same with putting them on Instagram. I love sharing pictures of my dog, so I know I'll love sharing pictures of my baby. It'll be the thing I'm the most proud of in the world. So saying I won't share it at all is not realistic. But I'm going to be very cautious, and I'm going to be strict with what I share, just because the internet can be a really strange place. It can be such a good place, and it's a wonderful way to like make connections like I have with you guys, but definitely there's a lot of negativity online. Outside of just the creepers, people can be really mean. Like, I am surprised when I'm following celebrities online and they post pictures of their children and people can say really mean things. I get that there are trolls and there are people who literally just run accounts to post weird stuff online, but it's not always just the trolls. Sometimes some people just have no filter, and I guess it's hard for me to wrap my head around because I would never post something like that. If I see something online I don't like, I don't find interesting, I don't agree with, I just keep moving. I'm like, whatever, not for me, okay, keep moving. But some people cannot do the keep moving thing. They always have to make a comment, and a lot of times those comments aren't nice. So I can never imagine saying something mean about someone's child. So that does worry me, but at the same time, I'm a person who tries to let most things roll off of my back, but I think that will be hard to let roll off my back. But it's just going to be walking a fine line of privacy and what I want to share of baby. So yes, you guys, that is everything for this pregnancy Q&A. I feel like it's really long. I don't know how long it is, but I feel like it's really long, and I'm kind of nervous that I talked too much. But I don't know, some of these topics just got me going. I had to just get it all out. It felt really good to talk with you guys and answer these questions. I'm so glad I had this chance. Yes, if there's anything you want to share with me and everybody else down below, please do so in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys, and I know quite a few of you are already mothers, so I'm sure you have stories or things you've been through that would be so helpful for not just me, but other people in the comment section. So yeah, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up, and as always, please try to stay positive, because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.